Welcome back to the All Hazards Prepper Show, your go-to spot for all your disaster prep information and how to survive wild SHTF scenarios. Plus, we'll chat about the chaos of the world, throw in weather updates, and cover any topics the All Hazards Prepper has in his head this week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform and join us on social media. Now, let's welcome your fearless leader and the brains behind the All Hazards Prepper, Blake.
Hey everyone, the All Hazards Prepper back with you with a situational update. No, we dropped an episode this week, but there's a little bit going on in the weather world right now, so I kind of wanted to jump on, maybe a little bit shorter of a situational update, but I got some things I've been thinking about the last few days. If you have not seen the news, I live in North Carolina. I think if you follow me by now, you probably know that. Down in our southeastern coastal region, which is near Wilmington, North Carolina, if you know where that is desperately dealing with some flooding right now. We go to the beach in this area. It's sad to see there was, of course, the Tropical Depression 8 never reached name status. But this just, and it jumped 18 inches of rain near Wilmington. Which is a lot of rain for a 24-hour period. I don't think it was even 24 hours. I think that was a 12-hour period. So a lot of rain, not much wind, but a lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain. It was already wet. The ground couldn't take it, and there's a lot of roads that are still flooded, a lot of roads that washed out completely, culverts underneath the roads that are gone, a lot of places you can't even get from like Myrtle Beach to Wilmington right now. You got to go all the way around. The main thoroughfare, main highway 17 is closed as it was flooded. It just goes to show how it doesn't really matter on, tropical storm, hurricane. Yeah, I mean, those factors do play in, but, some of these storms, a tropical cyclone, tropical depression, could dump a bunch of water, and next thing you know, it is, you're in a hurricane situation, if you will, where you can't, get out of your house. There's a lot of people right now that are flooded in. It might not be coming into their home, but it's, out right outside, and they can't leave. So, I think it goes to show that a lot of people are, they focus on if they see the news, they're following the news up in the hurricane season. If you live in a coastal area, they're looking for that tropical storm or that hurricane name or, in bold headlines. And it doesn't have to be a hot hurricane or a tropical storm. It can just be a storm system that just dumps a bunch of water. Hurricanes and tropical storms are based on wind speed, unfortunately, or fortunately. But, winds can be just as bad, but you got to stay prepared for all the hazards. Flooding today is a huge hazard. It is a huge, devastation, huge loss. It can, it really does, a whole lot of things that can impact you. So it's important to say and to, not just pay attention to those, the hurricane and tropical storm names, but if you see, a system coming across and, your weather service is putting, and two, it's weather. I mean, the meteorologists today do a great job. Every year, it seems like every year during hurricane season, they get better and better at it. But unfortunately, it's weather. It's Mother Nature. It's God. It's, whatever you want to call it. But it's, really, you need to, understand that, if you see forecast out there and it just says 4 to 6 inches of rain, that's a lot of rain. But it could do a lot more as the system proves. So I just wanted to jump on here and talk about that. We are seeing the tropics pick up a little bit. There is one it's like a fish storm, unless you're on a cruise ship, like way going from here to overseas to England or something. Shouldn't affect you, but it's a trop. It went down. It was Gordon. Now it might go back up. But there is a low that I've been watching out in the Gulf, really down into the Gulf of Mexico, that is developing. I think the Hurricane Center still has a 20% chance of development within the next 7 days on it, which is pretty good, pretty high for that. I've looked at some models. Does not look good down there. Looks like we are going to probably have something, but the where and the time and all of that is too early to tell. On these hurricanes, on tropical storms, whatever you want to call it, the tropical systems, really, it's a maybe 3 to 4 days out. You really should have a better idea. 2 to 3, two at the minimum. You really will have a better idea of tracks and impacts and all of that. So it's 7 days out, 10 days out. Certainly 15 or 20 days out. You're just looking for signals at that point. You're just looking for things on models that are showing signals of, hey, there's the environmental conditions are right for a low, which is a tropical system, tends to be this time of year to develop, and then from there, you're just looking at where it's what's affecting around it. Steering currents and patterns and all of that. So anyway, definitely keep an eye out the next week or so on that, especially if you live in the southeast. If you live in the Gulf, anywhere from Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, all the way up to the Carolinas, definitely pay attention to your hurricane center. The National Hurricane Center puts out the best information. They are the subject matter experts on hurricanes, on tropical developments in the Atlantic, around the world. So make sure that you're following them. And really, as they name the storm, and they look at the impacts, really that local office, whatever your National Weather Service local office is going to be the ones that are working with the Hurricane Center to really get out graphics, get out information of how much rain, how much wind, how much storm surge, how much flooding your area is going to see. There's so many different impacts, like we've talked about before, on these tropical systems. You have the wind, which is what's determined. If you did not know that, wind speed is what determines the hurricane or tropical storm status. If it's a Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5, that's what is really determining that. So wind speed, and then it brings the flooding, or brings heavy rainfall. Flooding is a cause or an effect of that, of the rainfall. Brings storm surge. So storm surge, of course, is when if you live in the coastal area, you live on the beach. That's when water is inundated up, and especially depends on when that hurricane or when that tropical system moves aboard. If it falls during high tide, that storm surge is going to be high. So storm surge is that surge of ocean water, essentially, or brackish water coming up and flooding, because that hurricane has so much, or that tropical storm has so much momentum and wind that's pushing all that water up. It's got to go somewhere. So it goes up on land, and then it brings the river flooding, which is a big effect. That's something we're looking at now here in North Carolina. So that system occurred on Monday. It takes a couple days for water to go downstream. So that's really what the hurricane and hydrologists are looking at. Most National Weather Service offices have a hydrologist, depending on where you are in the world, or there's one in the state. Everywhere is different, but a hydrologist is the ones that really are the subject matter experts on river forecasting and creek forecasting, really looking at inland flooding, if you will. So these are just some of the hazards that it brings. Of course, the effects are a whole different. Anything can be an effect, from a flooded house to a flooded road to a road going away, culvert going out, power outages. Those are the effects that it brings. So anyway, that's what's going on in the weather world. We are in, this is technically the heat of the season. I know I've been saying that for the last few weeks, but these next few weeks is in September. Are really historically when we see large hurricanes, large tropical storms develop. It's really that peak season from here. Hopefully we see it go down, but hurricane season lasts until November 1st, I think, or maybe it's mid-November. Anyway, in November. So anyway, you need to stay prepared. If you do not have a hurricane kit or just an emergency kit, with basic water, food, supplies, flashlights, batteries, weather radio, things like that. Go out this weekend and get it, people. So vital to have these things. Have the kit. If it's, maybe you start following my page in April, you really build a kit then, and it's been a few months since you looked at it. Stuck it in the closet, stuck it underneath your bed. Hopefully you stuck it somewhere climate controlled, not in the garage or outside in a shed, something. Most of that stuff does need to be in a climate controlled environment. But if you haven't looked at it in a little while, go out, look at it. And then the next thing is just planning. If what's the good long range planning here, if you have a cruise or something, you're going to go down to the Gulf or something in the next couple of weeks, definitely want to be keeping an eye on what's going on. Hopefully you bought travel insurance. Any cruises or vacations going anywhere in the tropics during hurricane season, I would highly recommend buying travel insurance or having ways to cancel it. But anyway, that's that long-range planning. Short-term planning is that family emergency plan that we talked about, making sure that you have a family emergency plan. I know I've been saying for a little while I have this template out there. It's in my Google Drive. I'm still working on it in the evening sometimes, but it's been a little hectic the last few weeks as I've started a new job like we talked about. We got a lot of family stuff. We're getting involved in a lot more stuff. So we also have a nephew possibly or probably on the way within the next 2 weeks. So a little bit busy, but we'll try to get that out there shortly at some point because I did spend quite a bit of time on that about a month ago and need to get that out to you guys because I think you guys will enjoy it and really be able to plan more for it. So that's our situational update for the week. I'm not really seeing anything else. Wildfires are still out there. I know I've seen from working out west before, some wildfires pop up. Nothing major that I've seen so far, but this time of year does tend to get into that heat of wildfire season as well. So if you live in a wildfire prone area, making sure you're following those good tips, having your house or home not ready wise, but fire wise prepared, and making sure that you have a plan, an evacuation plan, if you have to leave your home. Other than that, that is all the updates I have for today. Continue to follow the All Hazards Prepper on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter or X, and we are on YouTube. Don't post a whole lot on there, but we have a few videos on YouTube. Got some free time this weekend, so I might be getting a video out. Try to do something, but anyway, that's where we're at. Make sure you go check out this week's podcast show with the preparedness guy. I was listening to it the other day on the way to work, and I was like, wow, this is really good because we shot it about a month ago. I kind of forgot how good it was, and I'm like, wow, I hope people are listening to this because it's pretty good. We got a lot of good information in here, so go check that out. It's like a 30-minute short show, kind of short, I guess, but really we get deep down into, family emergency preparedness and planning, which is vital today. So go check that out if you haven't done so already. Hope everyone stays safe out there. Continue to monitor the weather. Stay prepared or stay alive. Stay aware. Stay prepared. Stay alive. The All Hazards Prepper out. The All Hazards Prepper here. You know what? I want you to go pause the episode right now and go look at your pantry. Do you have enough food in there to survive a couple of days? Maybe a week? Maybe a few weeks? Depending on how many family you have? No? Well, you need to go check out Artisan Farms. Artisan Farms offers so many different products for emergency food, from things that you can use every day. I love that Artisan Farms has so many products that you not only might need during a disaster, but you may just need to cook your normal everyday meals. Artisan Farms offers great products that's tailored around that can fit your needs for the next emergency. Whether you need something that will last you 72 hours or up to even 2 weeks, Artisan Farms has the product you need to survive the next disaster and for those that depend on you. Go ahead and check out Artisan Farms at artisanfarms.com. Again, that's artisanfarms.com, and use the code the All Hazards Prepper for a 10% discount whenever you check out. Again, the All Hazards Prepper for a 10% discount when you check out. Artisan Farms has what you need not only for the next disaster, but for the everyday as well.